Stephen A. Smith, Molly Qerim. Whoa, what is going on between those two people? From what I am hearing, those two people are dating each other right now, at least according to Mad Dog. This is Sports Guy Talking that you guys are watching and listening to. I am Dustin Tran, your host, as I am here today to talk about Stephen A. Smith potentially being in a relationship with Molly Qerim. Chris Mad Dog Russo accused Stephen A. Smith and Molly Qerim of dating each other as they wore matching outfits yesterday on First Take, better known as Woke Take on this channel. With this accusation coming from a co-host of First Take, it has now given credence to the rumors surrounding the dating life of Stephen A. Smith and Molly Qerim. Before I say anything else though, I want to present you guys with the topic question. So here it is. Do you believe Stephen A. Smith is in a relationship with Molly Qerim? I'm going to go with a yes on this. I truly believe that Stephen A. Smith is somehow, some way romantically involved in this relationship with Molly Qerim. There is no way that you work with a woman for as long as Stephen A. Smith has been and you are not in a relationship with a woman. I'm looking at the fact how Stephen A. Smith's dating life has been incredibly quiet and that he has never really been linked to any woman whatsoever outside of Molly Qerim. When there's smoke, there's fire, and obviously there is a lot of smoke surrounding Stephen A. Smith and Molly Qerim being in a relationship, and Mad Dog obviously took note of that. You look at how Stephen A. Smith and Molly Qerim also wore matching outfits yesterday on First Take. Unless if you're a husband and wife kind of thing, obviously that doesn't happen very often whatsoever unless if they are in a relationship together. And I truly believe that Molly Qerim and Stephen A. Smith are secretly dating together, and truthfully, I'm not the only one that believes this. You look at the people on Twitter that believe the rumors of Stephen A. Smith and Molly Qerim being in a relationship, and it's not even just me and those folks on Twitter that believe that. It's Mad Dog that believes in that as well. And obviously Mad Dog is pretty close with Stephen A. Smith since he is a co-host of First Take. He gets to see Stephen A. Smith on a weekly basis, so obviously he's more plugged into Stephen A. Smith's personal life more so than I am or the folks on Twitter. You also look at the fact how Molly Qerim and Stephen A. Smith are constantly flirting with each other all the time. It's like where you see two classmates constantly flirting with each other, but then whenever you ask them are they in a relationship, they say no, and then they laugh it off. But it's so obvious that they are indeed in a relationship. I mean, it could not be any more plain at this point. They are just openly showing it at this point. You look how Stephen A. Smith is very fond of Molly Qerim, and Molly Qerim is very fond of Stephen A. Smith. You also look at how Mad Dog, a co-host of First Take, also accused those two in a relationship. Obviously, I have video evidence that supports my case of Stephen A. Smith and Molly Qerim being in a relationship. Mad Dog was saying it in a joking manner, but all jokes have a truth to it somewhere down the line. Obviously, Mad Dog brought awareness to it from the viewers of First Take. Roll the film.
And who said I do first between the two of you, by the way?
Oh my
Who said I do first?
Who said I don't?
Did you say I do first, Stevie? Who said
This is very nice, Stephen A.
Well,
It looks really nice.
Well, thank you so much. I mean, it does. It really does. You look nice yourself.
Thank you.
As always, you know.
Thank
but
you.
I just had to step on out. No, there's nothing going on. You understand what I'm saying? America been lying about that for a couple of years.
Oh, they do?
It's not, it's for years.
You know what's
They
the
shit for
funniest
years. They've
part?
been lying on
Is
it.
People actually believe it.
Oh, they sure do. I get asked all the time.
It's ridiculous.
How's the famous couple doing?
Well, here's the
I said,
difference.
what?
But here's the upside to all of that. They know my taste, so therefore they know that's a compliment to her, and obviously she has great taste as well. So I guess that's America's way of saying we both really, really look good. That's why you can do that, because they lie all the time. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. But it does mean that First Take not only is a #1 show because of our content, we look the part.
Wow, that's funny. Stephen A. Smith accusing other people of lying about Stephen A. Smith himself. Stephen A. Smith, aka Stephen A. Myth. I say that because you look at how Stephen A. Smith wrote an autobiography of where he recapped his entire life, and he obviously lied in that book. He talked about how he made 17 straight threes in a high school scrimmage and then was offered a scholarship right on the spot to Winston-Salem State. Obviously, that was a lie by Stephen A. Smith. We all call Stephen A. Smith Stephen A. Myth because of the fact that he is willing to tell tall tales of himself, and now he is accusing other people of lying about Stephen A. Smith's personal life. Well, obviously, that is not right whatsoever. whatsoever. Stephen A. Smith is clearly in a relationship with Molly Qerim, whether he wants to admit it or not. You look at how Stephen A. Smith was constantly flirting with Molly Qerim there. You also look at how they had matching outfits together. I mean, look, the only time I've ever seen a man and a woman have a matching outfit together is when they are either husband and wife or when they are in a relationship together dating wise. And obviously Stephen A. Smith and Molly Qerim are not married at the moment, but we all know that Molly Qerim has a thing for rich black men. There's a reason why when she used to be in a relationship with Jaylen Rose, she ended up gold digging Jaylen Rose a ton of money out of their situation. I remember back when Jaylen Rose got himself emasculated in that relationship between him and Molly Qerim. There's also another part of the story where you guys have to remember where Jaylen Rose and Stephen A. Smith have burned bridges with each other. Why do you think that happened? Obviously it happened because Stephen A. Smith hooked up with Molly Qerim, Jaylen Rose's ex, just to be clear, and obviously Jaylen Rose didn't like that, and obviously Stephen A. Smith broke the bro code in this situation, and I don't appreciate Stephen A. Smith breaking the bro code in this situation. Stephen A. Smith, have you ever heard this saying, bros before hoes? Because it's pretty obvious that Stephen A. Smith did not follow that method whatsoever, and obviously he chose to date Molly Qerim and burn that bridge with Jaylen Rose. And if I'm Jaylen Rose, I absolutely agree with everything that he did in that situation, and I don't agree with a lot of what Jaylen Rose does in general, but this is actually one of the rare situations where I actually agree with Jaylen Rose on the situation with Stephen A. Smith and Molly Qerim. Now, has Jaylen Rose come out publicly and said that he disapproves of Stephen A. Smith dating Molly Qerim? No, he hasn't said that publicly, but you guys have to read in between the signs, and obviously Jaylen Rose and Stephen A. Smith don't vibe with each other anymore like that. I remember when those two used to vibe with each other all the time, but obviously that is no longer the case. And why do you guys think that is the case? It's so obvious that Stephen A. Smith and Molly Qerim are in a relationship together, and whether you guys want to admit it or not, that's the facts, that's the truth. And obviously when you've been with a woman for as long as Stephen A. Smith has been on First Take, you're going to grow attracted to that woman. Now, do I agree with Stephen A. Smith that Molly Qerim is that attractive? No, I don't agree with Stephen A. Smith in that regard. I could see why people think Molly Qerim is a beautiful woman, but personally, for my taste of women, she's not my type whatsoever. My type of woman is that she has to have natural beauty. She obviously has to probably have a healthy diet somewhere, and she's got to be a pretty cool person where she has high morals and high values. And obviously I don't value that from Molly Qerim. I look at Molly Qerim as a gold digger who only likes to date rich black men because she wants to scam the heck out of those guys and get money. Remember the time where Terrell Davis tried to hit up on Molly Qerim on NFL Network? Well, if you guys don't remember, I'll tell you guys the story. So obviously Molly Qerim, she used to work on the NFL AM show. That was back when she worked on NFL Network. She worked on a show with Terrell Davis, and I remember the time where Terrell Davis was trying to get Molly Qerim to bend over on live television and told Molly Qerim to snap the ball to Terrell Davis, and Terrell Davis stood behind Molly Qerim's butt. It was so obvious he was trying to hit up on Molly Qerim, and Molly Qerim, on the other hand, just laughed it off and just played around with it. It was pretty obvious she found the whole situation funny. Now, did she necessarily take the offer up on Terrell Davis? No, but she didn't necessarily stop Terrell Davis from doing what he did, and obviously that was hypocritical on Molly Qerim's part, because you remember the time where LeVar Ball was on First Take and he talked about switching gears up, and then Molly Qerim got all offended and everything like that, and she was like, oh my god, we gotta get LeVar Ball off the show, he's a misogynist, oh my god, why is he hitting up on me, please get him off the show. We all know that Molly Qerim at the end of the day is a hypocrite, and that she just tries to take advantage of emasculated men like Jaylen Rose and Stephen A. Smith. And obviously Molly Qerim is all about getting that money in her pockets because she sees nothing but money and beauty in her face. She is very vain as a woman. There's a reason why I've never liked Molly Qerim on First Take. We all know that Molly Qerim is there because of her close relationship with Stephen A. Smith. If they're not dating each other before, well, they're dating each other now, and if they're not dating each other now, they were in a relationship before. I feel so convinced at this point that they are in a relationship. I know that Mad Dog was saying it in a joking fashion, but obviously there was a little truth to the statement that Mad Dog was talking about when they were in a relationship with Stephen A. Smith. But I want to say that Stephen A. Smith is definitely in a relationship with Molly Qerim. You look at how those two are constantly flirting with each other. You also look at the fact how Stephen A. Smith and Jaylen Rose have burned bridges together. Obviously Jaylen Rose has a history with Molly Qerim, so when you combine all those factors in, it's pretty obvious that Stephen A. Smith is dating Molly Qerim at some point in his career, whether it was before or whether it is happening right now. And Mad Dog Dog was saying it in a joking manner, but like I've said, all jokes have a truth somewhere down the line. And obviously, Mad Dog has obviously seen some stuff because he gets to work with Stephen A. Smith and Molly Qerim on a weekly basis. And I want to address one more point surrounding Stephen A. Smith. As far as his contract goes, his contract is going to expire at the end of December. It seems like Stephen A. Smith is going to ask for $100 million in his next contract negotiations. If I'm ESPN, I'm going to hang up the phone on Stephen A. Smith. I'm going to tell him to kick rocks. And I think that we are witnessing the end of Stephen A. Smith at ESPN. I think Stephen A. Smith is going to leave their network sooner rather than later, and that when the contract is up, Stephen A. Smith is going to go independent. I would be shocked if Stephen A. Smith comes back to ESPN moving forward. But as far as him being in a relationship with Molly Qerim, mark that as a yes, because it's pretty obvious that Stephen A. Smith is in a relationship with Molly Qerim. It was so obvious on First Take, better known as Woke Take. So that is why I believe Stephen A. Smith is in a relationship with Molly Qerim, as Mad Dog gave credence to those rumors surrounding the dating life of Stephen A. Smith and Molly Qerim. Remember, go ahead and subscribe to Sports Guy Talking, like the video, and please comment down below. If you guys do that, I may shout you guys out in my Instagram story every Monday. That'll be for the @Dustin Tran Instagram account. Make sure to follow me on Instagram @Dustin Tran and @Sports Guy Talking. Also, go follow me on Twitter @Dustin Tran. Again, go ahead and do those things that I just told you guys to go do. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the content that was just produced. Peace out. I hope you enjoyed that video. Want more Sports Guy Talking, the home of great sports content? Make sure you click that subscribe button to get the latest from Sports Guy Talking. Go ahead and like the video, comment down below, check the description box on the video in order to follow my Instagram and Twitter. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from the YouTube channel Sports Guy Talking.